Hello friends, this is Svetlana. Welcome to another video from Altenew. This video is a part of the Stamp Focus blog post for the recently released World Map stamp set. This set features 2 images of the world map, as well as several sentiments centered around friendship and traveling. In the trifold insert, you can find some ideas of how this set can be used. This set is a very easy one to work with, as you are basically working with only one stamp, which doesn't make though the result less interesting, as a word map is one of those classic images which always look cool in any project. Now let's go ahead and make some cards using this set. For my first card, I will be using this kind of pixelated word map. Stamping the map using different colors was one of the first ideas that came to my mind, and I decided to stamp it using a galaxy color scheme, using two-toned stamping of purple and blue. So I took my swatches book to choose which colors to use, and ended up choosing the Midnight Violet and Starlight inks for this card. For stamping, I'm using my Mini Misty stamping tool. This image is very intricate, and as you can assume, multiple stamping is gonna happen here. So using a stamp positioning tool is quite critical for this design. First, I'm applying the Starlight ink onto some areas of the map, covering a piece of each continent with it. Now I'm using a paper towel to soften the edges of ink coverage, especially where the round edge of the ink pad stands out. And then I'm going ahead and stamp the map. Next, I'm applying the Midnight Violet ink onto the areas which weren't covered with the Starlight ink. And again, I'm softening the edges of the inked areas and stamp it. I'm continuing doing this until I stamp the whole world map. For the sentiment, I decided to stick to the same color scheme and stamp it two-toned as well, which finished off the card. Very easy, one layer, and looks pretty cool, all because of this amazing stamp. For the next card, I will be using another world map image composed of circles of different diameters. I will be heat embossing it using the rose gold embossing powder, but first I want to stamp with the Close by Color ink, which would be the hazelnut dye ink. I'm doing this just in case the heat embossing won't give me the full coverage, and the stamping underneath will make it less noticeable. So first I did the stamping, and next I'm going ahead and heat embossing over the stamping using the rose gold embossing powder. Next, I will be cutting 2 circles out of this panel using a circle die from the half-tone circles nesting die set. I'm using my T ruler to perfectly center and align die cuts along each other. Next, I'm blending the Starlight dye ink onto both circle die cuts. I made a panel out of dark blue cardstock and white embossed a sentiment in the bottom part of it. I also trimmed the panel so it's about a half of an inch smaller than the card base. I adhered the panel flat onto the card base using a tape runner from Altenew. And the circles I'm foam mounting using black adhesive squares. White foam adhesive won't work here as it would be visible if you look from the side. Black adhesive though is not visible at all. And this last step finish off my card. Moving on to the last card in this video. Here I made a white embossing on a wood grain background. To make the background, I stamped the wood grain stamp from the wood palette background stamp set using the milk chocolate ink onto a parchment panel. And then I blended the same ink onto it. I put the panel aside to let the ink dry. As the next step was the heat embossing, and I didn't need the embossing powder to stick all over the background. For this card, I'm using the same word map stamp composed of circles. And I'm white embossing it using the pure white embossing powder. To get better coverage and thicker embossing, I'm doing double embossing of this map. I also white embossed the sentiment, after which I adhered the panel onto a parchment card base, which finished off the card. So here were my 3 ideas of how this set can be used. You can see that all cards were very simple to make. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you the next time. Bye!